It's time for the Minnesota ProAM Bass Tour, the biggest and richest bass tournament in the state. We're at Maynard's Restaurant on beautiful Lake Minnetonka, where the top 40 professional bass anglers are competing in our Tournament of Champions. Join your host, Chip Lear, as he crowns our 2003 Minnesota ProAM Bass Tour Champion of Champions and gives them a brand new Ranger boat and Yamaha motor worth over $30,000. The stakes have never been so high, so stick with us on the Minnesota ProAM Bass Tour. The Minnesota ProAM Bass Tour is sponsored by Northland Ford and KFAN Radio.
Here in the Northland, horizon lines stretch as far as the eye can see. And to get anywhere, you need a vehicle that'll prepare you for just about anything. That's why there's Ford Outfitters, with the most complete lineup of SUVs on the planet. From the Badlands to the Boundary Waters, Ford has the perfect SUV to equip you. Defy boundaries and get to your local Northland Ford dealer today.
This is AM 1130.
Hi, this is Captain Billy Hildebrand from Fan Outdoors. Billy's always got some good advice. I've learned a lot about fishing, for sure, and hunting. I enjoy the friendly banter going back and forth. I like listening when fishing's on, fishing's great. When hunting's on, hunting's great. Join us Thursday evenings and Saturday mornings on your outdoor sports leader, KFAN.
When you're out in the water for a weekend of angling or boating, show common courtesy to other boaters. Slow down in the no-wake zones. When you're passing them, slow down. It's a lot more fun for you and them also.
Lake Minnetonka is a bass fisherman's dream. I mean, it has absolutely everything a bass fisherman could ever want. You could fish deep, shallow, and in between, and there are schools of huge bass out there, 3- and 4-pounders roaming around. It's without a doubt one of the best lakes in the nation. And I think, you know, if you can get good at fishing bass on this lake, I think you can fish bass anywhere in the nation. What's it going to take to win out here? Close to 50 pounds.
Close to 40 degrees this morning, the wind's howling, and it's going to make things interesting.
It's going to take 25 to 27 pounds a day to win this tournament.
You know, it's a championship, so a guy's got to let it all hang out.
Somebody's going to get into them. It's Lake Minnetonka. There's big ones out here. It's one of the best lakes in the country, and we got some of the best fishermen in the country up here.
We'll be on them today.
The very best bass anglers in the entire Midwest have converged upon Lake Minnetonka for the Minnesota ProAM Bass Tour Championships. And it's going to be a great competition over the next 2 days as we award over $100,000 for the best bags of bass. And one angler who ends up on top is going to take home a Ranger Yamaha combo worth over $30,000. It's going to be a great race, so let's get out on the water and get in the boats and see how they're doing. Are we ready to rumble? Go! Okay, good deal. All right, hang on. You know, you just fish. Good job on that first one, man. We're rocking.
You know, we got 40 guys out here that qualified over 5 tournaments throughout the season. We've seen storms come through, cold front conditions as extreme as they get. Now bring them up, the bass. One, too small.
We're just up here fishing shallow, flipping some jigs and yum dingers around the docks and hoping to pick up that one big bite. It seems like that they're getting ready to strap on that fall feed bag. Yeah, buddy.
Sorry to interrupt.
That's all right. We don't have a problem with that. Fish. Peanut. Thanks, Terry. Well, it's been slow, you know, but a bite's a bite, and this time of the year on Minnetonka can really be frustrating. It's definitely a love-hate lake, especially in fall. One day you'll have 30 pounds for 8, the next day you'll have 8 pounds for 8, you know. One of the most consistent patterns that I've had is these trees. There's one. The keeper. Good job, dude. I have an excellent, excellent amateur partner, you know. I don't even like to call them amateurs or co-anglers, but I just want to thank the guys that fished with me, the ones that made it to the championship, and the ones that didn't. Good one.
The field at these championships is made up of Minnesota's premier bass anglers. There are real, true veterans that have been around this sport for a long time. Intimidation can be a factor. That isn't the case for pro angler Jason Durham. In his first ever championships in his rookie year on this tour, he has set the bar right out of the chute. Hour into the event, he's already got his 8 fish. 2 of them are a little over 4.5 pounds. He's off to a great start. Can the rookie hold on? We'll have to find out.
You know, we're still looking for a couple big fish. We've got a couple in there that are, you know, 2 pound, a little over 2 pound fish, and we want to get those out of the well. On the other hand, too, we've got a lot of time left, and I'm trying to find that. There's one. Oh, get out of that milfoil. Get out of the milfoil. That Minnetonka milfoil, he's down in there. If he keeps shaking, he'll get himself out. Here he comes. There we go. Yeah. Even with light line, you can fool that milfoil every once in a while. I'll take that.
That's a snake. Never mind. Well, we've caught a pretty good bass. Every once in a while, we'll catch one of these slimy things. So we got 5 fish in the live well. It's about 11 o'clock, and Randy caught a real big one, probably about 5 pounds, and we got a couple other 2.5 pounders in there. So we got probably about 4 hours left. We're going to give her heck.
We're just getting one here, one there. We got 7 in the boat, and it's about a little before 11, and we're not in panic stage yet. I mean, at least we got 7, and we got really just one little one we need to get rid of. Most of our fish are pretty nice. It's great teamwork.
Well, Minnetonka is definitely one of the best lakes probably in the country. There is just a ton of bass here and some really big ones. They're finicky though. Sometimes they bite, sometimes they don't.
Thank you, Minnetonka.
All we're doing is we're fishing the breakwalls here between 2 of the littler lakes, and it seems like some bait fish are moving around and the bass are following the bait fish in here, and we're throwing some jigs and trying to imitate what they're eating. Nice. That might have been a competitive bite there. There might be more fish under them.
This is a Lena lure. This is called Firecracker. This time of year in the fall, fantastic. Not just for northern.
Well, we're going to move up to the channel up here, and we're going to pitch some jigs along the rocks and hopefully grab a couple good fish. There you go. Good fish. I was trying to catch one on this side of the canal, and my co-angler got one on the other side, which is awesome. It's nice to have a good co-angler, knows how to fish.
Got a nice one here. There's a bigger one swimming with it. Throw your Senko in there, Darwin. Throw your Senko. There's a big one swimming right there. Go ahead, take it.
The Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour is sponsored by Ranger Boats, Star Tribune, and Yamaha Motors.
There is a place where people...
Ranger Truck. And pro angler Dean Capra wins a 3-year lease on a Northland Ford F-150. Way to go, guys, and thanks for a great season of fishing.
right behind me, Tournament Director Danny Suggs has got the second day of competition blast-off well underway. It's a tight race, so before we head out on the water, let's check in to see where everybody's standing.
Mark Raveline is your leader with 27 pounds, almost 3 pounds over. Second place, Jason Durham. And there's a real battle between 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th place with less than 1 pound separating all of these anglers. That means it's anybody's ball game on day 2. The right strategy with no mistakes can send any of these anglers home in a brand new Ranger Yamaha combo.
We're looking for big fish. We didn't come here to finish just out of the money. We didn't come here to just make a representation at the Tournament of Champions. We want to win. Otherwise, why come out here?
We're here watching pro angler Jason Durham at his race for the championship title. It's nip and tuck. It's early in the morning here on day 2, but he had a great bag yesterday and was right on the heels of Mark Raveling. So let's hop in Jason's boat and see what his plans are for this second day.
Keep him on. Just go slow. Go slow. It's that time. Nice. Keep him on, Jake. No, he's not that nice. I think he had a 3-pounder trying to eat him. That's not the same fish that came up out of the water, I swear it. He needs some biceps. And so what Jake's doing is he's throwing a crankbait, getting it down there so the fish see it wobble and flash and looks like an injured minnow. Then I'm throwing a white plastic worm because of that ribbon tail action when it goes down. It really has some good flutter.
Behind us right now is our day 1 leader, Mark Raveling. And when things go right, you do the same thing on day 2, and that's exactly what he's doing. Started out in the spot that found him that beautiful 27-pound bag to earn him the current lead, and he's doing exactly the same thing. He's throwing crankbaits over a weed point that sticks out from shore here. What's really interesting here is how Mark is working those weeds. That crankbait's going up, it's diving down, and when it hits those weeds, it pauses for a second. Mark's ripping it free, letting it hold still there for a second, and waiting for those big fish to come up and hit it, because that's when he's getting the big ones.
Right now it's about 9:30 in the morning. We kind of came up shallow here. We're going to fish some docks, go for a couple big fish. We got a limit right now. Guessing we have about 17 pounds. So today we're just going to cover a lot of water and just see if we can get a couple big bites here. Cow. Come out. Oh! Day and a half you wait for that fish. I couldn't even control that fish. I got 30-pound test line. We went back under the dock about 100 miles per hour. Terry.
Well, I'm looking at hook here.
Got it. Just caught a fish. Luckily it wasn't a 4-pounder.
Yeah, bud.
Terry went to grab the net, and I had a crankbait tangled in it, which was also attached to one of my tackle boxes. So we didn't get to use the net on that fish, but that's okay. He's in the boat, and we're not going to do that again. Basically what we're doing here is we're just running down a line of docks. Between the docks we're throwing buzzards, and under the docks we're pitching jungle jigs. It's not too complex, but there seems to be a lot of fish around the docks.
Fish on!
Good job.
We've had a decent morning. We started out deep. We got 5 good ones over, pushing 3-pound average, and then 3 little guys, and we're trying to get rid of those so we can get back in the deep water. And oh, there, I just missed one. We held back on a lot of stuff yesterday just because of the wind, so we're fishing a lot of fresh water, at least as far as we know. I think it's big, but it might help. Might help a little bit. It's always nice to try and have a little bit of stuff in the back pocket for the second day. There's no guarantees the second day, so you got to take them while you can get them. There it is. Yep. I don't know if it's that big, but I think that's a decent one. Uh-oh, he's stuck. Get out of there. Get up out of there. Yeah. Looks like a decent one. Yeah, that's a good one. There you go. There you go. That's better. That's a better fish. He'll help. Yeah, he'll help.
We're going to be fishing some inside weed lines and some docks. Hopefully some more of them big girls are home and maybe we'll have a good day. I think there's fish are staging to go back up into the docks as we found these fish real tight on the inside weed lines. If the boat's backed into the back end of the dock, they kind of got a blowout hole on there, and the big fish like to sit on the backside of them holes where the boat sits. Little guy. Even the little guy's got to eat once in a while. I don't think he's going to help.
Look at it. Little pound and a half, catching a lot of these today. We don't need these, we need them 4 pounds. He's big. Well, that took forecast before the fish started. See what we need right here. We need about 2 or 3 more of those and we'll probably be in decent shape. They'll probably give us about 22, 23, 24 pounds. But need a few more of these.
The Minnesota ProAM Bass Tour is sponsored by Aqua Innovations and Fox Sports. When it comes to touring Lake Minnetonka, the best way is the old-fashioned way. Hop on board the Minnehaha.
In the early part of the 20th century and the late 19th century, the only way to get around was mass transportation, and the streetcar boat Minnehaha is one of a kind. It's the only one in the world that is here to show people what used to happen 100 years ago.
So, schedule a trip back in time, and you'll see what has kept Twin Cities residents falling for Lake Minnetonka.
This is the goal for Minnesota's finest bass anglers. They've competed an entire season on the Bass Tour through 5 qualifying events for this opportunity to fish the show. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is showtime. There's only a few minutes remaining, and then we will be crowning the winner of this year's Tournament of Champions with a brand new Yamaha Ranger combo worth over $30,000. The time is now. Here's the countdown. Let's go.
We're going to head over into St. Albans Bay here and fish some more boat docks. Hopefully we can get a better bite. Just keep plugging away. It's getting a little later in the day, maybe with the sun being a little bit higher. Fish will be closer to cover, and we'll just try to go out and catch some more. Little one. We're going to keep working at it here and try to hopefully hook into a 3 or a 4 pounder and pray for a better day.
We're in the final count, and every cast is going to make a difference. You're going to want to keep your line in the water as long as possible. Veteran pro angler Leroy Ranstrom is behind us right now, fishing the very docks the weigh-in will be conducted at. So his line will be in the water longer than most. There we go.
Won't help the cause, but I think the bite's probably getting stronger in the last hours of the tournament. We're in the last 5 minutes of our day looking for one more big bite. That's our big one of the day. Off of a dock, probably in a foot of water in the slop.
Oh, nice fish too.
That is the way to end the day. We are all done.
Who will be crowned our 2003 Minnesota ProAM Bass Tour Champion of Champions? Find out right after this. The Minnesota ProAM Bass Tour is sponsored by Media Rare and the Minnesota State Lottery. To start at the bottom.
Today is the Lake Minnetonka Cleanup Event. It's an event sponsored by the Lake Minnetonka Association, Crystal Piers, and Maynard's. We're going to deploy scuba divers around the lake bottom who will pick up cool junk.
It's kind of like dumpster diving for stuff that didn't quite make it to the dumpster. For the second year, Crystal Piers Marine is helping to pull off this cleanup. They want only the best for their valued customers.
We sell a lot of boats at Crystal Piers Marine, we put a lot of people on the water, and so we have a responsibility to give back to the community, and this is a great way to do it every year.
Not the most ideal diving conditions, but that doesn't stop all kinds of discarded stuff from making it to the surface.
And then we've got a bath mat. Of course, you need that in Minnetonka.
Might be an old mill bus. I think that's what it is.
Ice chisel, and it weighs a ton.
Minneapolis Brewing Company. This bottle not to be sold.
Not exactly a treasure hunt, but thanks to this underwater effort, you'll find a cleaner lake.
Well, these are treasures we take for granted in Minnesota. 10,000 lakes, 10,000 treasures. A lot of people just have to step up and do their part to help clean them up, and hopefully we'll make them last for many years to come.
When the field is filled with champions, you have to wait till the last bag is weighed before we crown a champion. And this year was no different. Congratulations to all the anglers on the Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour. Highlighted here, Bob Sandquist, a rookie pro, 43.7 pounds, earns him third place at this championship. And a man that was fighting till the bitter end, Corey Gutenfelder, put it together with 43.73 pounds of bass for second. But our champion in 2003, Mark Raveling. Hats are off to you. Congratulations on the Ranger Yamaha combo. You earned it because you caught 46.95 pounds of bass. What a great championship. Congratulations.
I was hoping for a top 10 finish in the tournament. Last year I was 11th, and my first place is just phenomenal. Stomach's going all different directions. It feels fantastic. I don't own a boat. I now own one, and it's a great way to start. Best boat in the world, the Ranger.
Our 2003 Tournament of Champions champion, Mark Raveling. Congratulations, Mark, on a fabulous event. Obviously, you were doing the right things at the right time to put those kind of fish in the boat. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you were doing, what you were throwing, and how you had found those fish you were fishing?
Well, I actually found them about a week before the tournament, and I was there once. I caught 3 real good fish. They were on a Rapala DT16, which is a real deep diving bait, and it just came out this spring from Rapala. It was a rock tip. I would use 8-pound test line with a real flexible rod. You actually wouldn't even feel the bite. The line would just kind of tighten up.
You're obviously driving that crankbait right down into those rocks. What does that crankbait do when it hits rocks?
It jumps around. I mean, it's moving around down there, banging off rocks, making noise. It's got rattles in it. You know, it really imitates a crayfish moving around down there, and that's what I tried to do, was imitate a crayfish.
What were you doing different with this crankbait that maybe some of the other anglers weren't doing?
Well, for one thing, most of the fish during practice were on the docks or in very shallow water. And knowing this lake as well as I do, I knew that there'd be some schools out deep and people would basically forget about them. And so I had like 3 schools of fish to myself, whereas everybody else was fishing docks and shallow water. Well, that pattern really tapered off because of the cold front that came through.
Mark, this is for you. The Ranger Yamaha combo is on the way. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour Tournament of Champions. Congratulations to all of our anglers throughout a great season on the tour. We look forward to seeing you next year.
Chipler's wardrobe provided by Carhartt and Irish Setter. Banquet facilities provided by Maynard's. The Minnesota Pro-Am Bass Tour is a production of Media Rare. Bye.